Okay. Hello, everyone. I hope you can hear this well. And this is Penny Sophocles from Corporate Alchemy, and I'm speaking to you today about. Oops. Sorry. So I'm talking to you today about business coaching and how business coaching can help your business grow and yourself to grow. So thank you, Laurel. Got a nice message there. At least you can hear me. So today I'm just going to talk a little bit as an introduction as to what the hell is coaching, and is it the same as mentoring, and what's the difference between that and training. So just to clarify some distinctions here about what these different terms mean. So very simply, a mentor is someone who has done before you something that you yourself want to do, and you can have a mentor because they've got that expertise, they've got the experience, and they've also got the networks that they can introduce you to, and that's really the value of a mentor. A coach is somewhat different to that. A coach is someone who has acquired a specific set of skills that can be applied in all sorts of different industries, and the person themselves doesn't have to have been an expert in that particular field to coach someone else. And so their coaching skills is very much like if you go to university and study a particular subject, you get trained in how to be a lawyer or an accountant. And similarly, to be a coach, to be a good coach, you really need quite an extensive set of skills to really listen to your clients, to ask specific questions that causes insight and revelation to the person who is being coached. So what also a coach can do is really help draw out from the person being coached what their particular unique set of skills and talents are that they need to apply into their business. So coaching is often a protracted contracting time between when you start working with them and when you finish. Normally it's a period of about 6 to 9 months, when, particularly if you're a business owner, you want to make a substantive difference either in your personal skill set or in your business activity, or perhaps in your team. So in order to make that big difference, you really need a kind of period of time where you can work with the coach to help you put into action all of the things that you need to change in yourself, in your team, in the projects and processes that your business has, in order to effect a substantive, hopefully transformative change for the better. So also I'm sometimes asked, what's the difference between a coach and a counselor? And a very simple way to understand that is a counselor will often ask you to look into your past, into what's happened before, what's gone wrong, and it's a little bit like therapy. They're looking to make you well because you've not been well, or something has affected you in a negative way, and a counsellor is trying to help you address what's gone wrong and to make that different. Coaching doesn't do that. Coaching is very forward thinking as against backward thinking. It's looking to the future. It's helping you make changes now that will make a difference in the future. So that's, again, some distinctions and differences between a counsellor and a coach. So having made those distinctions and differences clear, what I'd like to focus on is to really help you think about how coaching could actually help you and your business. And you might ask, well, you know, why do I really need a business coach? I'm really clever, I'm really talented, and I know what I'm doing, so I really don't need a coach. I don't need someone else telling me what to do. And of course, that may be true. Of course, however, there may be some additional help that you can get from a business coach, and I'll explain it in this way. Many professionals will have gone to university or have taken an extended period of time to understand their particular craft, whether it's art, whether it's fashion design, whether it's to be a lawyer, whether it's to be an accountant or an IT specialist. And you've taken the time to learn your skills, to acquire those skills, to understand the territory, and to make a big difference in those realms. However, something very particular happens when you start a business or when you work inside a larger business. So let's say you're a lawyer and you go to work for a law firm, and for a while, the skills that you've acquired in learning your subject perform very, very well for you, and you're a very good lawyer, and you deal with your clients very well, and you provide them with the learning and do all the things that you need to do. However, what begins to happen is that as you go higher in the organization, you start getting asked to do things that actually you were never taught to do when you were at university or law school. That is, you are asked to manage people, you're asked to delegate to people, you're asked to go out and network and develop your business and acquire new clients. And unfortunately, nobody teaches you how to do that at law school. And similarly, when you're running your own business, when you start a business, it's often because you have a great interest in a particular area. Let's say, you know, you have great people skills and you want to sort of help people. And you start a business that is very much about helping people, whether it's a declutterer or a network group, or all sorts of other things that you have an interest in and also you have some skill in. Once you start your business, what begins to transpire is suddenly you can see things that you don't know how to do. For me, in my case, it was knowing how to do social media. I'm terrible at it. I don't do that very, very well. And I often have to get the skills of other people to help me in that area. I know nothing really about the back end of computers. I know nothing about websites. And all of those things, other people know better than you how to do. And to a certain degree, getting others to do something for us is really the way to go when we are, when we're facing a situation where we can't do some things. What a business coach can do is begin to help you realize the things that perhaps you're not addressing, because you're obviously focusing on the things that you can do, and some things are necessary to do, like a website or something, and you can subcontract that and get other people to help you. But other areas, like huge blind spots about what on earth something means. For example, in my case, it's SEO. I don't know what it means. Even when people tell me how to do it, I really don't know how to do it. And really, to grow a very large business involves lots of new things that maybe you will find you can't do. And one of the largest areas that business owners tell me is the most difficult for them is actually staff. Hiring new people, hiring the right talented people, and keeping them motivated, keeping them engaged in your work, growing them so that they can acquire new skills and abilities. These are all very, very challenging to business owners who've never really had to look after anyone apart from themselves. So this is where a business coach can really help, because one of the key skill sets that as a coach we acquire is actually to understand different profiles of people, to understand what makes them work, what their interests are, what their skills and natural aptitudes and innate talents are based on their profile. And this becomes really invaluable information for a business owner who has to grow their business through other people. And largely for many people, that is how they grow their business. They have to grow the number of people that work for them. They have to grow the number of people who do different things that they themselves can't do. So hiring people who have a different skill set is like a blank sheet for many business owners. And really beginning to structure a business that's going to operate not just with the person doing the majority of the work, but actually creating a business that is able to run without them. This is one of the largest challenges that business owners have. If you think about people like Richard Branson, he never runs a business anymore. I think he did that for Virgin Music, but he realized that actually his skills lay elsewhere and running a business wasn't really his interest at all. So he is Richard Branson started many businesses. I think at the last count, it was something like 302 businesses, none of which he runs, but they all run without him because he knows how to hire people that have the right skill set and to do the things that need doing to create a multiple business that can grow and scale up to become very large. So what's involved in that? Obviously, this is one of the key areas that as a business coach, we help people with. So one of the important things, or the starting point when I work with a business owner, is to make sure that certain key foundational matters have been clarified and have been incorporated into the organization that they currently run. So the first thing that I ask them is, what is the purpose of the business that they have? What is its promise to its customers? What is its promise to its staff? What is the vision that they have for the business, i.e. in terms of what outcomes they are looking to achieve from the business? Do they have a vision? Is it going to be a small business that's going to serve its local community? Is it going to be a large business that's going to serve maybe a much larger area? Is it going to be a national business? Is it going to be an international business? Because depending on the vision that the business owner has, they have to organize the business starting point differently than if they have it small or large, local or national, or local or international. So it's really important for each business owner to be forced, in a funny kind of way, to be forced to write, it may be 1 or 2 sentences, the vision that they have for themselves, the mission that they have for the business, what will it achieve for its customers, what will it achieve for its staff, what will it achieve for its local community. And this kind of thinking is often the kind of thinking that business owners avoid doing. Often, particularly business owners who are excellent at execution, excellent at getting things done, they just want to do, but don't take the time out to think and to ask themselves the very difficult questions. A business coach makes sure that these kind of questions are the questions that they're asked, and they take the time to actually sit down, write and answer those questions so that at least they have the clarity. Because it's not just important that they're clear, but in fact it's why another person might join them in the business. Because particularly, and they're saying this these days, that millennials don't want to join a business unless they have some kind of empathy with the purpose and vision of the business that they want to join. And in any case, even if you're not a millennial, an employee wants to join a business that they can believe in, that they are clear about what their part is, what they are going to commit to do, and also what they're going to get out of it, and also what they are going to be responsible for to deliver to their client base. So that's like the first starting point, making sure that the business owner gets clear on these kinds of matters and puts it down in writing. If you visit a website and this kind of vision or this kind of mission statement is not there, you'll know that the business owner hasn't made this piece of work, hasn't done this piece of work yet. So the next thing that I help business owners do is really create a business pathway for themselves, getting clear about where they want to get to, perhaps over a 3 or 5 year period, because otherwise entrepreneurs seem to get locked into what they're doing today, what they're doing this week, what they're doing next week, what they're doing at most in 1 month's time, and don't really take time out to sit and think about where do they want their business to get to in 5 years' time. So again, transferring or translating that question is like, what is the mission? What is the business mission for the organization over a 5 year period? How big do they want to be? How many employees do they want to have? How many customers do they want to be serving at that period of time? You know, what kind of market position do they want to achieve? Do they want to be a leader in their field? Do they not really care about market position? But getting clear about what your customers are going to want over a 5 year period is really important to do now rather than to do it 4 or 5 years time, because you're not gathering together the tools, the information, the staff and the outputs that you're going to need to generate over that period of time, so that in 5 years time you're going to be serving the kind of customers that you want. It's really important also to identify the kind of revenues that you want to generate. If you're just doing hand to mouth, what you're generating in terms of revenues this week, next month, you really do not have a plan. You don't have a business plan, and you're not therefore thinking about the actions that you need to take to do now in order to achieve the revenues and in order to achieve the kind of customers that you need to have, you know, maybe in 1 year, in 2 years, in 3 years, and building up to the 5 year period. Because once you can identify the revenues, the kind of profits that you want to generate, then you can start thinking, well, actually, I need to have staff. I need to have a team. If I need to have a team in order to deliver that, then I need to ensure that my revenues currently start changing. Because I think often one of the key things that I identify when I work with smaller business owners is that they almost always charge too little for the services that they are providing. And if you charge too little, then you are causing a situation where you have to do the work. You don't have enough revenue in order to pay others. you certainly don't get enough revenues to hire people, and there's a fundamental shift that business owners need to make in order to charge appropriately for the work that is getting done, for the services that they're providing to their current customers. And they will never charge appropriately until they start thinking about a longer term goal, the 3 or 5 year term goal, and ensuring that they've got the right kind of people on board to help them achieve that. So step 3, I think, when I work with people, is to help business owners identify their market and really master their market, to identify the customers that they want to have, to identify how big that marketplace is, whether it's, if you're targeting your local community, the target audience may be small. If you're targeting your state or a larger area like the Southeast or Cambridgeshire or something like that, you're going to have a larger marketplace. But if you want to target a much bigger area, identifying the kind of niche community you want to service is really, really important at this stage, and to do it early on. Also identifying the kind of customer profiles that you want to work with. For myself, for example, I tend to work with a lot of professional services firms and professional services people, because they're either lawyers, accountants, architects, and a variety of other professions like IT communities, who are very, very good in their specialization, but really don't understand the people side of things. And so therefore leadership and managing others and managing their teams is a challenge. And that's my particular profile of customer. How clear are you about the profile of your customers? Because depending on who those customers are, you can identify the problems that they have, the challenges that they are meeting, and therefore how your service can meet their needs. And that means that you can create the marketing material, the marketing messages that you need to get to them, and you can then identify where those target audiences are and where you need to send your communications or your advertisements or whatever. So it's really important to do this kind of work. Again, many business owners find it challenging and difficult, and on your own, yeah, it can be very much the case. And that's why a business coach who's probably done it with many, many different kinds of businesses across a different scope of market can help you clarify and narrow down the niche of client that you want to target for your business. So I think the next thing that I tend to cover in my coaching of business owners is helping them define a particular strategy that they need to start putting into play as a particular project, whether it's a sales and marketing project to a particular sector of clients, but it's identifying the kind of target audience that you have, building a pipeline for your customer base, making contact, identifying the communications you need to be sending to your clients early on for them to recognize you, to know who you are, to know the skills that you have and the services that you provide, and then making small offers so that they can start becoming your client, delivering value to them through the lower priced products or services that you offer, and then building a pipeline of products and services that you can provide once they become a customer. Because these days it's very rare that a customer will buy from a business and will continue to buy. They have so many other options and so many of the other opportunities. So having a consistent pipeline of offers and of communications to that particular sector requires a strategy and requires a timeline to deliver that strategy. So finally, well, two more things actually. Building your team is a really challenging thing for business owners to have, or even once recruited, to recruit the right talent, to recruit the right kind of people, to not just the skill set, but also the kind of innate talents that you need for your particular business, but making sure that the right people are in the right place, doing the right tasks for you is sometimes a challenge for business owners, particularly because delegation may be a challenge for the business owner, but it's also to do with whether they will take up the accountabilities that you need them to take up so that you don't have to continuously micromanage them. That becomes a really critical issue for a business owner to grow their business fast, because they need to be able to delegate fully, and that means 100%, and make accountable particular areas of work to their staff. It means that you need to empower them fully to meet the challenges dealing with your customers or the challenges of whatever their accountabilities are, and trusting them to do whatever they need to do to deliver for you at the right level. So micromanaging is really a waste of your time. You should not be doing it. What that says, if you are, is that you haven't got the right person. You need the right people that you can trust to do fully what they are empowered to do, and to just deliver the end result to you. So setting up a regularity or rhythm where you are checking in with them, or they're checking in with you about what they've done, how they've done it. It's really, really important to ensure that you've got the outcomes that you are expecting and can help them if they're not quite getting there. So finally, the last bit that I often find I'm coaching people around or helping them to work through is actually ensuring that they're setting up the right projects and processes in their business so that it works without them. As much as possible, a business owner needs to systemize their business, whether it's through technology, whether it's through the internet, so that they're having to do the least of it and that other people are not doing it. But it's also involving your staff to set up those projects to work efficiently and effectively without constant attention. So as we're coming up to the end of my time, I hope you found that very, very helpful and useful. Please, if you have any questions about anything I've said today, please write it on the Facebook page here. I'll be online and happy to answer all of your questions. And if you have any further questions or want to contact me directly, I'm on the Laurel Leaf Network site, and I'd like to thank Laurel very much for giving me this opportunity to speak to you, and I look forward to seeing some of you at one of the upcoming network meetings that Laurel has arranged. Bye-bye for now.